Welcome back to the Two Yachts for a Saint podcast. Myself, Gaz, Cal, and Jordan, powered by Acorn, John Leeds. Go straight in here with the news on with Cal, I think.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Another wonderful week in the world of rugby league. Obviously, we'll get on with the Ashes shortly, but the weekly news. First one, London Broncos, they've revealed a new logo under the Darren Lockyer regime. Obviously, they know they're not in Super League in 26, but obviously pushing probably for 27. So there's a bit of new branding going on in terms of the London Broncos.
Like they're playing chess with that logo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all a joke, to be honest.
Not just me then.
Yeah, no. I'll stick to what we've got.
You not like it, Jordan?
No, I don't really don't. They've made two, haven't they? They made a red and a
It's
black
weird.
one of them.
If you look at it closely, fellas, it resembles the Brisbane Broncos, but just in different colour.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Like a weaker version.
Yeah, a weaker version, but again, obviously, it's the modern day sort of thing now, isn't it, with these logo changes? So yeah, it's not. Does it really matter to the likes of us when we don't follow London? Probably not.
No.
But obviously, that's them ticking another box, I'd imagine. Right, another good piece of news and massive piece of news, which I've been waiting for since we won the grand final a couple of weeks ago. Super League fixtures for 2026.
You've not mentioned it.
Oh, did I not tell you? I can tell you three times if you want, Gaz. I can tell you 3 times.
I love that.
Yeah, so anyway, back to the news in hand. Super League fixtures for 2026 will be released on the 27th of November. I'm absolutely 100% sure the first fixture Jordan will look for is the Rhinos versus Bulls derby. Same for you guys with Saints and Wigan. Is it always the first one you look out for?
Yeah, I mean, we know one of them's going to be Good Friday, then it's the reverse fixture, but yeah, we always look for that second one. We know roughly when Good Friday's going to be. It's usually April, so I'll be a bit to look out for.
We've got Cameron Smith's testimonial game against Bradford.
Nice. Is that on Boxing Day, Jordan?
No, not Boxing Day. We've got Wakefield on Boxing Day.
I always get that mixed up, that fixture.
Yeah, we've got Boxing Day at Wakefield. I think it's January, but I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure if it's just like, throwing ideas with like dates wise, but it's Bradford versus Leeds for Cameron Smith's testimonial.
I'm sure we'll get some more information that and discuss that down the line. So in terms of fixtures, obviously, we all want those derbies, don't we? Is there any away games, Jordan, you're looking forward to going with them new teams? I know you've been waxing lyrical in terms of York the last few weeks. Will that be a good little away day for you? Not too far away?
Yeah, it's actually what I'm looking forward to. I'm hoping me and Mrs. can go and have a bit like it's a nice place in York. I've been a couple of times. Some nice places to go in York. It's a nice little getaway, isn't it? It's a nice place. It was very strange to go and watch Rhinos play. Like it's not something I expected. I'll be honest, but it's like I said, it's so nice. It's so nice to have like some fresh teams in there. You know what I mean? I know Toulouse have been in there before. I know Bradford have been in many years, but for York, it's a new thing, isn't it? It's going to be interesting how they get on, and I'm looking forward to seeing them. I really am.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure, Gaz, that clubs from your side of the woods, the Lancaster and all that type of area, I'm sure they'll make a weekend of York. It's always been a good night out in a historic city. So I'm pretty sure it ticks a box in terms of socialising for the weekend as well as the rugby.
Yeah, I mean, I usually just coach there and back when I go to the away games, but York's that one I'm looking forward to, and also Bradford as well, to be honest, because it's bringing back that old rivalry from years gone by, back when we were neck and neck with everything.
I'm hoping, fingers crossed, I'm hoping they might do Magic Weekend with Bradford and Leeds. I'm hoping.
Oh,
that would be good. I don't know if it's too early.
Well, that's if it's going to go ahead.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that would bring me on to my next question, Gaz. I've read a bit about the Magic Weekend the last few days. They're not 100% sure on it yet. I believe there's some in terms of St James's. I don't know if they're willing to give up that spot again for them. But are you in favour for Magic Weekend, Gaz, or not?
I never used to be until I finally went last year, and I absolutely loved it. I'm like, yeah, this needs to stay now. But I see people and they're saying, oh, we don't need it and all that stuff. Like, well, it's a big weekend for the game. You know, it brings a lot of revenue. It brings a lot to like the Sydney Newcastle as well. Because I've been up there a few times. They said, listen, we absolutely love that Magic Weekend. We make a packet doing it. So it's like, well, it's a win-win, isn't it?
See, I mean, I've gone for a lot of years. I mean, I went to Magic Weekend when they're at the Millennium Stadium, and then on to Etihad when that first got built. So for me, it's a no-brainer, and it's a must-stay really for the reasons that we've all just stated. So yeah, so there again, the fixtures will be released on the 27th of November. Hopefully, we'll get some good draws at some point. Obviously, we've got the 2 trips to France. If you're a away man like myself, it's going to be an expensive deal next year, but we'll do it because we love it.
We'll definitely
Touching on
get Catalan
Bradford
in
a
next
minute.
year. I'll definitely get Catalan in.
Yeah, you've got to, mate. You've got to. It's but both places are nice in terms of the French teams. You know, some great historic places, some good culture, and obviously some good rugby if you get the result that you go for. So yeah, that's the fixtures. Well, on the topic of Bradford, Bradford Bulls halfback Jordan Lilly has signed a 2-year deal with the Sheffield Eagles. Jordan will tell us a little bit more about him. He just sort of can't quite do it at that top level, can he, Jordan? I mean, he's gone to from Rhinos and he's moved on to Bradford, and now from Bradford to Sheffield. He's sort of just below that top level of where he needs to be at the minute. But fair play to him, he's got signed up for a 2-year deal at Sheffield.
Yeah, I watched one of the interviews he had, or the interview that he had. He seemed quite disheartened about it, to be honest. I don't feel like it were his decision. He did actually say in the interview that he were hoping to stay on, but weren't in the plans, which I do find a bit harsh, really, considering he has done well for him. But like you say, it's that step up. We're back in Super League now. It's like they don't believe he's Super League quality, but then obviously
he's put some service into that club as well, hasn't he?
He has, yeah, he has. I'm sure he's done 7-8 years there.
Yeah, at least.
But they've signed some halfbacks. I mean, we said last week, didn't we?
Yeah, Rowan Milnes.
That's it. So they were obviously planning on going ahead without Jordan Lilly. So for me, because he can play hooker, you know what I mean? I don't know why they didn't have him as like an interchange, if anything. And he's a good goal kicker as well. But yeah, they've obviously decided that they don't think he's Super League quality, which by looking at it, I don't feel like he's ever going to get there now by looks of it, which is quite a shame.
Not unless Sheffield can get themselves up there for next season after.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, I'm sure he'll do a good job at Sheffield. I mean, he's one of the better halfbacks in that championship, isn't he? So we wish him all the best with that. Next bit of news: Leigh Leopards, they've bolstered their squad for 26. They've signed Canberra Raiders halfback Adam Scott. He hasn't played that. I know quite well. I don't know loads about him, but I know enough to have an opinion on him. He signed a 3-year deal with Leopards. He hasn't played so much NRL with the Raiders. He's played a lot of New South Wales for them. But again, I'm sure he can step up and do a job for the Leopards. Rovers youngster Phoenix Latongawai. He has signed a 1-year deal for the Catalan Dragons, which has really, really surprised me because he struggled to get any form of game time at Rovers in the last couple of seasons. I'm not sure if it's a smart piece of business from Catalan. Maybe the 1-year deal says that they're just going to give him a crack for a season and see how he goes. So there's probably not much to lose, between the player and the club. So again, another Rovers youngster gone. Castleford Tigers.
Sorry there, Cal, but like with the way Lee have signed, obviously, when you get into now, Liam Horn, it doesn't fill me a lot of confidence that they've already got Ipape and Brad Dwyer there. I mean, the Polar's not going to get a look in, really, is it?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't really. I don't know. Do you really need 3 hookers? It's
No, not
no,
really.
I
You never know,
know,
do you?
I know he can play a bit of 13, can Liam Holmes. So I was watching a bit of him at weekend for P&G. He does the job. Is he going to light up the world in the Super League? Probably not. But he's a good workman, like sort of squad rotating player. You know, Adrian Lamb, he knows better than the likes of us three, doesn't he? So it's one of them where they're just filling the spots.
It's one of those things as well where you hope it's not one of those things with Dwyer again where it's curtains. Do you know what I mean? He's trying to settle down in the club and he's getting palmed left, right, and centre, isn't it? So let's hope it's not one of those where he gets palmed off to another team again. Do you know what I mean?
Brad Dow's a bit of an enigma, though, isn't he?
Yeah.
He has bounced around a little bit.
Since he left Leeds, yeah. Yeah, he has.
Yeah.
He's been to Hull FC, he's been to Salford for a while. He finds himself here, there, and everywhere, doesn't he? I mean,
Went back to
don't
Warrington
know
and
that-
got shipped off again.
I never wanted him to leave when he went left Leeds. I wanted him, but apparently he's a bit of a. I don't know if he's a bit cocky or whatever in the.
That's all I
Rhinos
can
squad.
think of. A bit of a bad attitude, like behind the
Yeah,
scenes.
yeah. Rhino squad. They came out and said he would have, a bit like John Lilly, like a bit of a mouthy person, by the sounds of it, or just don't gel with the squad. That's kind of how you kind of get it, gist, don't you? Because you're bouncing from club to club. There's obviously something going on there, isn't there?
Yeah. It's a shame because I do think he's a good player, though.
Yeah, I do.
I've always rated him.
Yeah.
he's quick out of dummy half, and he offers a bit of pace into the attack. But for some reason, he's gone from club to club to club, and all these coaches can't be wrong, can they? So they're just not quite right there with his career, and like you say, possibly attitude. But spider on the wall, we'll never know, will we? So yeah, we'll see what happens with that one. Hull KR, they announced the signing of young halfback Jack Charles from Hull FC on a 4-year deal. I mean, this one's been in the pipeline for a few weeks now. It's just sort of waiting for confirmation. I don't know what. There's a young talented player in there, but it's just if he's going to break through, with Mikey Lewis there and Tyrone May there, and there's a couple of others who can play in that position if need be. So I don't see him breaking into the first team too much. Is he a cover player? But obviously he's signed a 4-year deal, guys. So you can only think it's for the future rather than immediate next season.
Yeah, I mean, he may get like run-outs in cup games and stuff like that, or obviously if there's injuries and suspensions or whatever. But the fact that you've got him on, how long is it? They say 4 years. It looks like they've got plans for him.
Yeah, I'm sure it's for the long term rather than the immediate future. Last 2 bits of news, St Helens news. Darrell Clark, he signs with St Helens and extends till 2027. And Matt Whitley, he signed a 3-year extension with Saints also. I mean, maybe a season or 2 ago, Matt Whitley was probably one of the best back rows in the comp when he was at the Dragons. What have you seen from those 2 guys this season, Gaz? And are they both positive and good signings for the future?
Matt Whitley's been injured a fair bit, and he's not caught the imagination of the fans. Let's put it that way. Even though there was a bit of hype of him coming, a lot of people are saying it's a bad idea to extend his contract, but we don't know. A lot of players are back rowers that we're keeping on at the minute, so there's obviously not much of a market for us, and if there is, they're not interested in coming. So we're just sort of stuck with what we've got. Darrell Clark, I think, is ideal to have there. We've got young Jake Burns ready to break through, so he's probably a bit more of an understudy, I'd like to think. But there's been another 2 this week. Jake Wingfield has really divided opinion, because I think a lot of people think there's a good player there, but I think myself. But again, he's always on the medical table, the poor lad. And one I'm excited about is Leon Cohen, young lad, back rower, or prop forward. He can do both. Been given 1 year, and I would like to have had him to at least 3 or 4 years. I think there's a talent there, but I've seen him play for the reserve, so it all remains to be seen, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of one of them where you see contracts now. They're either 1 year or 4 years. It's the sort of never in between. So it's reading into it a little bit, with the 1 years, it's sort of like it's like a 50-50 risk in a way, isn't it? That's what the club and the player are thinking. And then when you see a 4 year, they're like, right, it's a solid signing for the long term. So sometimes you can read a bit into the contract length, can't you, and make an assumption on that. And then obviously sometimes you can.
I believe that Jake Wingfield he has to make a certain number of appearances to trigger his second year. So I've heard. Can't quote me on that. But Leon Cohen, I think Rowley is happy to play some young players if he needs to, or not even if he needs to, but if he wants to. So I think he might give him a fair crack.
That's it. It's, like I say, Saints have probably got a lot of work the next 2 or 3 seasons, more than most teams in that Super League, because they've always been one of the benchmark teams over the last decade or so, haven't they? And last couple of seasons just haven't quite been there, even though they've made the playoffs and they've got to the last stages of the season. They need to sort of build now for the long term, don't they? And hopefully some of these young boys will be able to go on that journey with Rolls and the rest of the experience in the squad. So wish them well on that. And that pretty much thing is news round, completes new round. So we'll get straight into the first test review, and we'll have a look at that. And we all know what happened, but we'll talk through it step by step, and let's get some opinions. And if there's anybody watching and all that type of stuff, feel free to comment on the video when it's released and give us your opinions.
I'll try to keep this PG.
Yes, we are. Yes, Gaz, we are a family friend podcast.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, we'll start with Sean. Last week we all sort of, between the three of us, made our 13 sort of starting players, didn't we? We all had opinions. We all divided opinions. Ultimately, it's down to Sean Wayne. He went with the following squad for the first test. He went Wellesby, Young, Wardle, Farnworth, Johnson, Lewis and Williams in the arse. He went Matty Lees and Havard, Daz Clark at hooker, and then the two second rows was Piers Paul and John Bateman, and your man Morgan Knowles at 13. Gaz. The bench was Jez Litton, Alex Walmsley, Mike McMeekin, and Owen Trout. I mean, just looking at that bench, Jordan, Mr. Wayne went big from the off, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He obviously packed that bench full of forwards. He obviously knew it was going to be in an arm wrestle game, which it was. The first, first 10, 15 minutes, it was quite a good game to start with. I just want to say as well, I was buzzing. I mean, he didn't play him in right position, did he? But I'm buzzing that he played Mikey. I really didn't expect him to play Mikey. I don't know. Considering, like I say, Harry Smith wasn't even on bench either, so I don't know what's going to go on with this second test.
Yeah. So yeah, you was right. You was right, Jordan. They did start relatively well that first 20 minutes. I mean, after 8 minutes, the Aussies they had their captain Isaiah Yeo. He had to go off for an HIA, and like I said, that was after 8 minutes. So at that point, you don't like to sort of applaud anybody going off injured or with an head knock, but I thought at that point it maybe give us a bit of a leg up, Gaz. It just sort of wasn't the case.
Yeah, I think that the first 10 minutes anyway, we matched them set for set. You know what I mean? Both sides were kicking on pretty much on the halfway line. I thought that would be a bit of a leg up, but I think it just sort of fired them up a bit more than anything else.
Yeah, I mean, I think the replacement was can't remember what the replacement was now, but obviously with the Aussies, their squad, they've got starting quality all over the place, so it doesn't matter who comes in, they're going to do a hell of a job. I think it was Ruben Cotter who came on anyway. Then 16 minutes in, like you said, Gaz, a second ago, England, they had some good pressure at certain points. We forced a knock on from Reece Walsh. Unfortunately, that went up to the screen and got overturned.
That was bloody Bateman, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was sort of hands in one ear.
Pushed down his head or something.
Yeah, it's a bit of a funny one, that.
I mean, they were right to challenge it, to be fair. I mean, I don't blame them.
No, and that's what they're there for, aren't they? I mean, 22 minutes in, Australia, they're brought down the left-hand side. This is sort of the first try, and at the time I thought they've clean broke us, but then there was a couple of forward passes back on the inside, and I know people say,
Real
"Well, that's
far.
clutching
I've
at
seen
straws."
touchdown passes further back than that.
Yeah, yeah. I was watching some at the weekend actually on Sunday, and it was on Fox Sports, and even there was sort of saying, "Oh, is that that shouldn't have been given? It's an NFL type of pass," and unfortunately, it was given. Staggs he broke through and set up Walsh. He went in with a swan dive as he does, man of the moment, and Cleary converted to make it 6-0. At that point in the game, Jordan, we needed a bit of injection, didn't we? And I just thought at that point Aussies was sort of, I won't say there was firing on all cylinders, but you could just sort of see the clogs turning and just sort of picking up the pace a little bit.
Yeah, I think because it were quite a tight contest at the beginning. We were sharing this in his group, in his WhatsApp group, weren't we? I just think when it come down to it, I think they were just testing waters a little bit. We probably all three of us would probably think, we matched them. I think they were just testing waters. I think they knew they could attack us at any point.
It was like a boxer fighting the range.
Yeah. They knew they had the ranging team. They knew it, and yeah, there were a lot of forward passes in that first try, especially that flick inside. 100%. If that's a Super League game, that's forward. A little bit frustrating for me is, I don't know, like I say, it might be a bit of a throwing out there sort of thing, but I just felt like when that were given, it were a bit like, what's going to happen in this game? Like, if they can give that a try, considering, the kick that went up and Dom Young got taken out by Carr, and then they still let the game play on, and he scored. I'm like, you can't be giving this, and I thought they were going to give that a try. So it's, the way the game was, it was just really weird and dodgy. But I just felt, when you were saying about them getting the leg up on us, I just felt we were slow. I just felt when they had the passes down line and they were making the breaks, especially when Walsh was just absolutely killing us, I just felt like we weren't at the races. We was too slow, laggy. We were just, it were like booting up Windows 98. It were like just taking too long to get going.
And things so when we did create something like Wardle's break, which was brilliant by the way, and it's just the way things go. I'm not blaming him for this, but when he's tried to give it inside, it's just the timing was just really off.
Just
Aussie come off an Aussie player.
Just that little bit, just on end. You know what I mean? A little bit of luck, maybe. I don't know if that's the right thing to say, but you do something so great like that, and it's like, I don't know if he overdid it or he just didn't time it right. I don't know. It was just, they were on us, weren't they, frontward go, and I can't fault that from the Aussies.
They read the game very well.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, on the half hour mark, Sean Wayne he got Jez Litton and Big Alex Walmsley on, and at that point, I know I won't say it was clear dominance because it wasn't by any stretch, but when them two lads came on, England they sort of had that little bit of speed around the ruck and a bit of bit of power going through the middle, and at that point we had a couple of half opportunities on their line. We managed to sort of force a repeat set, but not really nail that last play, guys. So it was patchy when we did do a little something positive, but it was just never sustained for a long period of time, was it?
Yeah, I mean, there's a bit they're going to come up to now where Tom Johnson puts a kick through, which I thought was a great idea, to be honest with you. I thought, do you know what? They're trying something here. They're trying something. They're not just trying to be too safe. Like, if it goes dead, it goes dead, whatever. You've tried something. And they weren't a million mile off from scoring it.
No, that's it. I mean, it's just, the thing is, I think anybody who knows anything about rugby league, whether it's Super League, NRL or national level, people know that Australia are the best national team around, aren't they? And if you're playing them, you have to literally be on it from from minute one. You've got to get everything clean and squeaky tidy. And what you do have to do is, if you get half a chance, you have to take that half a chance because you're not going to get so many more.
No, that's exactly right with what you just said then. I just think, like, when you looked at the times we had the ball and when we did some good stuff, you know what I mean, with Wardle running through, we did some good stuff, and it were like, it was like we had to try immensely hard to even get them chances. And then when we didn't take them, it's like Australia just had 10 chances after us. And it was like we needed to score that. But you could see how much it took out of us to get to that position. Like we had to literally do quick hands down line because we knew that was the only way to get past them. There were no one in this team that were going to make a break in that game. And we're going to be like, oh, yeah, great, inside pass. We're going to make a nice little run here. It was just the way we had to play it was quick hands down line, try and do a dummy. You know, like say we had to do a little chipping corner, didn't we? And it didn't pay off, you know, with Farnworth.
Oh, yeah.
He did a little chip, didn't he? To try and do something different, just to kind of break them and kind of throw them off. And it did pay off, but it just looks like we were struggling to try stuff because we couldn't get through them. We couldn't get through them, and
it was almost like they were scared to try things at times.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at I know Jez Litton got a 40-20, which was great. Mikey Lewis played all right. I don't think anyone played bad. I think everyone just shut us out. I thought Wellesby got taken out of the game completely. And I know I give him a lot of slate about it. And I think it's just because when you when Carl said, I think when you're playing Aussies and you know you're playing the best in the world, you expect your fullback to match their fullback. And because he wasn't at the races, I just like to say, I think we all weren't great. So I think we were all equally played just poor.
Yeah.
But
it's almost like he was man-marked out the game, wasn't he?
Yeah. Well, we man-marked him. We just didn't have anyone in that team that just give that little, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
did see the improvement when Litton come on, to be fair.
Yeah, it was like we played his hand in first minute and we got found out straight away, and it was like we had nothing, we had no like blackjack to play or anything to be like, right, you know, Jez Linton came on and I thought, if there's anyone that's going to change the game, he's going to do it from bench. But everyone had to play well as him coming on, but we weren't. So it was like he'd come on and it was just flat because no one then performed with him. And you know what I mean? He gave us that bit of a hump from the bench. But everybody else weren't matching him. So it was just flat. You know what I mean? It was just, we just didn't do what we were supposed to do. And you can tell by where his face in the game. His face just dropped in it, and it was just like.
Well, the whole thing's on him. To be fair, the whole thing is on him.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll go into more detail with this, but like players like Mikey Lewis at 7, I think he was hung out to dry by Wayne. To be honest, you know what I mean? Yeah. He's a 6. He's an out-and-out 6. Can do a job at Hooker, but he's an out-and-out 6 for me. Aussie Carl will know a lot better than me, but
I've got to agree with that. I mean, we'll get into it a bit later on in terms of if there's any changes for the second test. But I mean, I don't know with England. My overriding emotion in that first half was we did okay for 20 minutes, and then we couldn't get no field position. And when we was forcing ball out wide, was finding a lot of grass and a lot of ground. I mean, we had a couple of balls sort of thrown into touch, didn't we? And a couple knocked on, and there's a couple of sloppy errors. And for me, that was just all down to field position. So we ended up pushing stuff we didn't need to push at that point. It was just trying to get to the right end of the field and have a bit of time down at the right end of the field. But we just sort of couldn't do that. And maybe that's a reflection on us forwards not getting us up the field.
People like slating Wellesby for that pass out wide, but I mean, Dom Young should be knowing that is what Wellesby does, the cut-out pass to the wing. Yeah, that's his bread and butter.
Yeah, when I saw
he's well. He should be hugging the line there.
Yeah, I agree. I
mean, we had a little to do about it, but it's all
right. No. When I saw it again, mate, I agree with you.
No, see, I watch Wellesby week in, week out. That's his bread and butter, that cut-out pass to the wing.
I think with Wellesby as well, just a quick one before we move on, is I saw an interview with it a couple of hours ago, to be fair, about Wellesby. And I'm sure you'll agree, Gaz, I think when you're sticking Wellesby at fullback, it's obviously the best team in the world. I personally think he has to be in the team because, you know, like we said, there's not a lot of options with fullback, really. And he has been thrown around this year, hasn't he? He's not probably had the best season.
He's not had much chance to settle. Well, up until he got injured, he did. But after that,
He's not
he's
actually
played
cemented a
1,
position all
6,
season, has he?
13.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He
And
hasn't
putting him
been,
at 13 is a ridiculous idea, in my opinion.
yeah. He should have been fullback from all rounds.
Yeah.
And then at least he's going into test series with some momentum, some, do you know what I mean? He's used to it. I mean, we know how good he is as a fullback. I'm not going to sit here and say he's a bad fullback because he isn't. He's great. But when you're playing, like say, you're playing 6, you're playing 7, you're playing loose forward, you're not getting used to where you are, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you stick him at fullback and he's getting taken out at games. So it's you know, it's one of those.
I mean, that's something I'll go into deeper on here later on the week, but I'll keep it as England for now because it's a mutual thing, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think the overriding sort of emotion first half is there was a couple of half chances, but we just couldn't quite execute. So half time we went in 8-0 down to the Aussies. Second half, it didn't get a great lot better really. I mean, without sounding too negative, I'm just sort of saying what I see. Literally 2 minutes into the second half, Walsh makes that break, done it from his own goal line. There's people tackling fresh air. He puts us straight through the middle. I mean, we looked in a lot of bother there. Unfortunately for us, Hudson Young was held up on the line, and England sort of escaped that following set. But unfortunately, a couple of minutes later, Angus Crichton he breaks through the middle again, untouched. Scores the second try of the game. Nathan Cleary again converts to make it 14-0. Early doors in that sort of second half, guys, and from that point onwards, you're thinking, oh, this could be anything now, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, up until that point, where I think that was the most positive thing we had was that 40-20 from Litton. But again, that's something that he brings to the squad. You know, is that I've back circle about him for weeks now, as you know. But the whole game, I think Litton and Knowles were our best players, and you could see the difference when Litton came on.
Yeah.
As much as I love Daz Clark, he just brought a different dynamic.
Yeah, but again, it's one of them, like you say with Jez. I mean, he kicks the 40-20 and we'll get a little bit excited in terms of the players and the fans, and you're sort of expecting something to happen after that, off the back of that, aren't you? You know,
yeah, I didn't see one player
together.
Yeah, I didn't see one player going, right, this is a chance now. Come on, let's
just sort of what I'm trying to get at there, lads, is the fact that we didn't get a right lot of momentum within the game, but the areas and times we did get the momentum, we didn't capitalise. And again, it's half chances and small chances. But when you're playing the top team in the world, you have to do that bit more to make it sort of worthwhile and put something on them rather than us waiting for something to happen. So when Jez kicks that 40-20, you're thinking, right, we're in there, deep in their half now. Let's put a decent set together. Let's come up with a set play or whatever it may be. But let's force them on the Aussies. We sort of didn't really ask that many questions at that point, did we? I mean,
nobody wanted to take the game by the scruff of the neck.
No, and that's where I think we lacked a real lead on the pitch on Saturday. I mean, Mikey's not. He's got to be in a sense of winding the other team up, but he's never going to take the reins and marshal troops around and tell people where he wants them so much and all that type of stuff.
Well, that's what our so-called captain's supposed to be doing, isn't he?
Yeah, and that's another thing. He's not. George Williams is never supposed to do that, but he just doesn't sort of see it because a lot of his game is his own single running game, isn't it? And it doesn't really benefit the team as maybe an organiser would be. I mean, people say about Harry Smith, he might not be the most gifted runner of the ball, but he does organise and he has got a good kicking game. But we know he's not going to drop Mr. Williams, so it'll be interesting to see what happens.
It's just suicide not dropping him.
Yeah,
it is absolute suicide not dropping him.
I think, well, we know it's not going to happen, mate. That's the problem.
No.
So after this bit of momentum, again, the Aussies repel us, and then on the 64th minute, Angus Crichton again, he comes back on the angle and up, sort of opens England up again, and he scores his second try, and Cleary converts, and at that point it's 20-0, with 15 minutes to go, and you're sort of only thinking, can this get any worse or can it get any better? I mean, what was you thinking at that point, Jordan, at 20-0 down?
Well, game's pretty much over, isn't it? It's like you were saying, 10 minutes ago. It is pretty much thinking it could be anything, any scoreline. I mean, with 15 minutes left, 20-0. There's no stopping them putting another 3 or 4 tries there, is there? So I think it's just disappointing because, us English and that, especially when you want, you're doing a test series, whether it's been 22 years or if we're doing it regular, don't matter. When you're playing Aussies and the game's over pretty much with 15, 20 minutes left, and you've 1-0 down in series, and you lose by that scoreline, and it's like I wouldn't mind losing if, like you say, we capitalised on his chances, and it was like maybe a 12-point game or something, and you can at least say, right, well, we did took his chances, we can take that positive until next round, it's the next game, and be like, right, we worked well there. Those link plays worked well, so we know he can stay. He didn't really do great, so we might swap him. But when you're all playing that bad, I don't know what to do in this second test. I don't know whether he needs to completely scrap it and completely do a new team again. I don't know. But then it throws momentum, it throws, links and stuff like that. You know what I mean? You're wanting probably the best players to play, but I don't know. I just thought, I thought we were lucky to score, to be honest. I know it was a soft try in the end. I thought we were lucky to score. I have this really, really strong belief, lads, about Aussies just take piss. About with us, I think they think we're a joke. I think we give so much respect in the terms of like we should do because they're world champions. You know what I mean? They're great, but they don't see the Test series. They don't see the World Cup like we do. They don't see the match that we do. Do you know what I mean? We play Australia. It's such a big game. They laugh at us, and you know what I mean. I was watching interviews with podcasts from Australia, and they were slating us saying. I think it were Mitchell or something from Catalans who played standoff of a year. Slating us, saying we had no chance. We're a joke. We hadn't got anyone in that team that could play in Australia, an Australian team. Just laughing at us, basically. And it's like when you play and you're watching Walsh absolutely destroy us and he's laughing his face off and scoring. And it's just, it really.
The thing is, though, with Walsh, he is the best fullback in the world right now.
Yeah, he is.
By a margin.
To be fair, mate, when Billy Slater used to do it, you know what I mean? I used to hate him and all.
I love Billy Slater.
But it's one of those things that I do think they just think we're a joke. I don't think they say, for example, right, they beat us this test series, which they probably will do, right? They won't see that as a big thing. Whereas if we beat them in this test series, it's massive for us. It's huge.
They look at that as pre-season.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. But what they'll do is they'll bring the best squad. Because what they do, Australia, which I'm sure you both agree, all they want to do to us is absolutely destroy us. So beating us 64-0, or they were peed off that we scored in that game. Last few minutes, they were peed off that they didn't nil us, and it's like, Jesus Christ, do you know what I mean? You beat us 26-6. How's that? Do you know what I mean?
Just a typical Aussie arrogance that we get all the time.
And then did you hear about the referees?
Oh, don't even get me started on that. So they're literally slagging Liam Moore off for allowing the small ruck when there's forward passes and all sorts. Herbie Farnworth getting dragged by the collar, dragged down when he's trying to make a tackle.
So,
nothing. Oh, yeah, but it was all on your side.
They're slating as ref, right? But they won 26-6. Right? It just don't make sense to me. I mean, if the ref's wrong, the ref's wrong regardless. I get that. But I don't know if you guys agree.
Listen, when they've got Ashley Klein on the books, he can't say anything.
Listen, I don't know if you guys agree, but when I watched that game on Saturday, Liam Moore were reffing. I thought there were an Aussie ref on that pitch because I didn't feel like we got naff all in that game.
But that's just blatantly obvious, and even then.
Yeah, that might just be me. But
No,
You see my
ultimately,
frustration
I
with Liam
don't.
Moore all the time now, don't you? You see why I can't stand him?
Yeah, I mean, going back to Reece Walsh. I mean, you're some player if you're keeping Dylan Edwards out that squad because Dylan Edwards one of the best fullbacks in the world, also, and he can't even get a sniff, can he? So I mean, that
I
shows you
did
their
see a
strength in
stat
depths.
with Reece Walsh. He's not lost a game of rugby league since he drank the bog water. He was right.
Maybe the England boys should get on it then.
Fucking hell,
You
yeah.
know,
I think
I
we need to
mean,
do it without
yeah,
flushing the
well,
bog.
yeah. So again, on the 71st minute mark, Walsh he breaks down the right hand side of England and finishes off a great move. Obviously, Cleary does what he does. He converts it. At that point, it's 26-0. I think the Aussies had sort of much, switched off at that point, and a couple of minutes from time, Daz Clark he shoots over from dummy half close to the line. He gets us on the scoreboard, and he makes it so we don't get the nil and the whitewash. So is that a positive thing to take? I'm not so sure. Mikey Lewis he converts, and the final score is 26 points to 6. Good attendance, to be fair, 60,812, and rightly so, man of the match for Reece Walsh. I mean, just going back to what you said there about the arrogance in the Aussies and all that, and playing devil's advocate. I mean, is it one of them where most of them players win a competition every year, and the born winners? Do we make that as an excuse for that? I mean, you boys know, Leeds fans and Saints fans, and this is me not being,
I just, I
controversial in
just
any
think,
way, but
I just think what I've always thought since I were 14, 15-year-old is Aussies don't like losing. Bottom line, they hate losing. Whether it's cricket,
nobody does, do they?
football, rugby union, they hate losing.
Oh,
So,
yeah, when they
but
lose, it's someone else's fault.
Just, I'm just trying to balance it up here because a lot of the times, obviously, clearly, we all want us teams to win. But when you're the best for a reason. I mean, Rhinos have been the best for a lot of years, and so have St Helens, and so have Wigan. So, I mean, we all want to win. We've all probably got a chip on our shoulder when we do win. I mean, the Aussies are probably going to win most national games they play, and a lot of them players within that Australian squad. The born winners, aren't they? And they don't know no difference. So, yes, there probably is a bit of arrogance about them, but also they deserve to have that, to have that arrogance and that cockiness because, they're doing it every year, year in, year out, aren't they?
I think what it is though as well, Carl, it's like obviously it's not their fault. I get that, but you think about how big Australia is as a country, and it's like I was saying last week, they've got so many options, right? Half of these players that play for Canberra, Melbourne, I know you quite clued up on NRL, Carl, but they could be these youngsters that aren't even played an NRL game would come over here, play for, say, Wigan or Saints and absolutely kill it and be like a mini Bevan French, right? We don't know these players half the time. And it's like they could make 4 or 5 world-class teams, with the players they've got. Unfortunately, we haven't got that ability to, like I was saying last week, Mikey Lewis, Williams, Harry Smith, Jake Connor, whoever, all these, if all them are injured, right, and you're trying to make an England team, you're buggered. Where with them, Cleary gets injured, which I'm sure would be, bad for them. They just rack someone else in and he'll do exactly the same job. So for me, as much as you've kind of got to say, yeah, they're a great team, I get that. But they're kind of there by default, in my opinion, because the country's so big, they can throw anybody in that team. And
the thing is, though, I've noticed throughout the season as well, and on Saturday especially, Nathan Cleary, aka Gomez Adams, was completely missing apart from his goal kicking. I didn't see him do anything.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, I mean, I've watched. I'm sure you guys have done. I've watched from 2003, last time test series. I've watched Great Britain. I've watched the likes of Paul Sculthorpe, Sean Long. I've watched so many exciting players for our team, right? And we've done NAF all, right? And you look at it and you go, right, we've got a really good team here. it don't matter who they put on pitch. It really don't. I've watched games before where I've watched an Australian team and I don't know nothing, no one in that team. And I'm going, literally, I'm looking down names going, I must know him. I must know him. At least one player. No, I don't know anyone in that team. And they go and kill it. And it's like, don't know that player, don't know that 6 and 7. But you know for a fact, as soon as they pull that Aussie jersey on, they're going to absolutely blow teams away. And they do. And it's not like that for us. So I think it is a bigger deal for us when we win because it's. I know it sounds a bit dramatic to say it, but it's more deserved. I think when we do it. I mean, you know what I mean. You see Mikey Lewis tearing an Aussie team apart. You see Jez Litton tearing apart. Do you know what I mean? Wellsby running through gaps. That's what you want to see, and you'd be booming if that happened because you're like, oh my god, we just tearing Australia apart. But you know it ain't probably going to happen. So it hurts. It hurts a little bit. Do you know what I mean? It's just one of those. That's probably me being biased, I suppose, and then maybe a bit sour. But it's just.
I think you both make some good points. To be fair, but ultimately, the state of both games in terms of the Super League and the NRL that has a massive factor on the player polls and the quality of the product over there is probably twice of the quality of our product. So it's not them players' fault, is it? It's not, that game over there is bigger than our game here, unfortunately. I mean, over there it's like their national sport, in it. So, they're sort of idolized by the fans over there, the facilities, the finances, everything, every little small detail about the game over there.
The drugs appear to be better over there as well.
Yeah, and I get that. I totally get that, Carl. I really do. But I think, like I say, this may be biased, I suppose, again, but I think Super League's more entertaining than NRL. I really do.
Yeah, and I agree with that to a certain degree. All I'm trying to say is we have to sort of up our game as well, don't we? We need to make our spectacle of the Super League and the English game a better product. To give us that better quality on the field as well as off the field. So, and a lot of it's to do with finances. And if the finances aren't there, you don't make them players better. You don't make your clubs better. You don't make your Super League competition better. And you also don't make your national team as good to compete with the top teams like Australia. I'm pretty sure that on the weekend, if we'd have been playing Samoa, a Tonga, a Fiji, or a France, or a Papua New Guinea, I'm pretty sure we'd have won because our competition is far greater than the competitions in them countries. But ultimately, Australia have got the top competition and the elite competition in the world, and that's what we have to sort of inspire to be, to up our game to try and close that gap between the two countries and the game in both of them countries. So I don't think you can blame certain players and all the rest of it. We just don't like losing as English, do we? Whether it's rugby league, football, or tiddlywinks, it's just one of them. We should be bloody used to it, shouldn't
we? You'd think we were used to it.
Yeah, but it's the same in football, guys, isn't it? We all think our English football's... Yeah,
just goes.
You know what I mean? So
you just want to be in the game. You just want to be in the game. I mean, can we all three agree here that 20 minutes in, that were it? Because after the 20 minutes, I thought the game was over.
When that went to 26-0, I actually said these words. Not only do I think we're not going to win a game in this series, I don't see us getting a single point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And obviously then lo and behold, Des Clark makes it look like a liar, but it's just one of them. It's just going to get worse, I think, over the next 2 games. Yeah,
I think what it is as well is like you say, Gaz, you were completely right what you said there. I think because when I said, I think it was last week or week before, I said about you give Australia, you match your man for man, would be caught out. I think the thing with Australia and ain't just England, it's any team that they play, and they've done it for numerous years. And obviously, the reason why they're so good is they get so much possession and they capitalise on all the chances. And you know what I mean? They always 9 times out of 10 score on most attacks they have. And then when you blink and you look at scoreboard, they've got 36 points on board, and it's like then teams start tiring, etc. Oh, right, Australia got ball back again. Right, bang, 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 to score another try. And it's like, because they have so much possession, I think that's one of the reasons why teams don't get a sniff. And then when you look at, say, England, we're 20-0 down with 20 minutes left, and it's like we're absolutely knackered, and it's like there's no one gonna take game back, scruff at neck, and go, right, we're gonna do something here, because they've been outplayed, and it's you know what I mean. It's just one of those, and so it's hard. It is really hard.
I mean, ultimately, we all want the same thing, don't we? We all want to beat anybody that we play against. Whether it's Tiddlywinks, like I said, or rugby league or rugby, whatever it may be. The English are so passionate, and that'll never ever change. So long may it continue, and we'll keep backing any rugby league team in terms of England, won't we? I mean, Gaz, do you want to run us through, any possible changes for the second test, and how do we see that going?
Yeah, Sean Wayne. No, if only. Yeah,
he's not going to go just yet, mate.
So I think, like I said earlier, I think Mikey Lewis has hung out to dry at 7. I mean, I get it's only one place up, but it's a run of the ball. His kicking has improved a lot, which I will say for him. But he's a ball in hand running standoff. I'm not kidding him myself, but I think Harry Smith needs to be in there at 7 with Lewis. But as we know, there's no way Fathead's going to take his little golden boy up the team. So I'll give Welsby a rest, if I'm honest. I'll put Brimson in there. I think, like you say, Welsby's got completely shut out the game. I think he was one of the primary targets for him. I would have Morgan Smithers in there just to pull it loose and put Knowles into the props, just to have something a bit more different, a bit more speed in there. And we know we can hit as well, so he's not gonna take a back step to anyone.
See, I mean, Jordan, if he was going to make any changes, who would there be and why? I mean, obviously you can't pick Jake Connor, mate, just before you try that one.
I've seen someone actually suggest that. So you need a lot of injuries for that, don't you?
To be fair, without name dropping, a friend of mine who I work with, and he watches the pod regularly. He's in Cyprus at the minute, and actually saw Jake Connor there. So you're gonna have to fly him over from Cyprus if you need him to play this week, mate.
Unlucky, Jordan.
Yeah, unlucky. For me, Oledsky's got to be in there. I think just for an extra bit of powerhouse. I think I'm not saying when Trout played bad, Walmsley, McMeekin. I didn't say they played bad, but I needed to see something else as well. I think Oledsky would have been great there. I would have played Callum Watkins.
Yeah, I would have done myself.
I just to give us a bit of something, whether it's some offloads, a bit, potentially a bit of a break. He's quite good at switching defence and twirling round defenders and offloading. He's quite good like that. I would have, to be fair, have put Joe Burgess in over Johnston.
With this experience.
I did expect Dom Young to play too, which I did. I thought he played pretty good in first half. He went a bit quiet second half, but I thought Joe Burgess should have been playing, and because he didn't play the first game, I doubt he's going to play. I think AJ Brimson probably needs a chance at fullback. Like I say, it's not even really saying out about Wellesby. I think he could play Wellesby in second game. I don't think it's going to make a difference, to be fair. But I think just because it's the second game and we're still in it, I think there's a chance there to try and maybe throw a dagger there, and maybe AJ Brimson might. I have no idea what this guy does. I don't know how good he is. I don't know if he's quite quick with ball. I don't know, but it's maybe a chance. And unfortunately for Wellesby, he don't get that chance to be in the team because you're not going to put him at 6 higher or an interchange. So it's a straight swap, isn't it, with that? I agree with you, Gaz. I would have had, Mikey at 6. I'm not even bothered about George Williams playing if he's going to play him, because at the end of the day, if he's going to play him, we can't say out. But I don't know why he can't put George Williams at 7, because he has played 7 before.
The thing is with that, if you're going to put into, like, say, football terms, remember when every England manager tried to put Gerrard and Lampard in the middle of midfield every single time and it never worked? And he put Scholes out on the left.
Yeah.
Take one of them out, put Scholes there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And it's they're too similar. The two similar players, Williams and Lewis.
Yeah. I think they did well with Hooker. I thought that played well. You know, like you said, Gaz, Darrell Clark in there, Jez Litton coming on. That's fine. I don't think you can do all else with that, really. I would definitely won't play Jez from get-go, just because if we are going to potentially or maybe do something in this second game, he needs to be part of it. Does that Jez Litton? He needs to be part of that firiness to get.
He can make that team tick.
Yeah, 100%. Apart from that, I mean, I don't rate Bateman now. I think Bateman's had his day.
He was a liability in that game.
Yeah, he was. I know he's done great in NRL when he moved, and I know people were raving about him at the time who were over there, and I know he's been a good player. I think he falls short a little bit now with penalties, etc. So for me, everything else should stay the same. Like I say, depending on where you're playing Callum Watkins, if you bring him off bench, whatever, I'm not bothered. But I think Aledski, Callum Watkins, AJ Brimson, swap maybe Williams and Lewis around in positions, and obviously get Burgess in on wing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like it, but I'd rather have Smith in there than Williams. At 7 anyway.
Yeah. I mean, even that, because like I say, it's not even slating England to a degree. I think everybody got shut down in that game. We all know how good Lewis is, and Lewis just got shut down. He didn't play bad. He was quiet, and I've stated that so many times. Quiet don't mean bad. Quiet just means quiet.
Quiet can just mean just him marked up the game.
Yeah. I mean, you play bad, you're bad. Do you know what I mean? That's how I say it. And we're just, it was just one of those games. If I'm being perfectly honest, guys, I don't think on Saturday, even Jake Connor playing, mate, I don't even think we'd have won that game. I don't think we'd have won that game, regardless of who we played. I think what happens now is this second test, it has to be a completely different game.
Yeah.
If they play like they played in first test on Saturday, we'd struggle again. We have to make, like I think you said, Carl, didn't you, last week? They need to have an off day. And how many times do you see Australia have an off day? They might have an off couple of minutes and off maybe 10, 15 minutes. But if we don't capitalise at that time and put points on board, they start waking up and start playing. You know what I mean? Didn't you say, Gaz, on WhatsApp group, they didn't even play that good, Australia, which I agree with.
They didn't get out second gear.
Yeah.
It was quite scratchy, mate, and they made some unforced errors at times, which is unlike them. This is what it's going to be very, very interesting at the Everton's new stadium, the game on Saturday, because in effect, it's like Challenge Cup game now, isn't it? It's knockout rugby, isn't it?
Yeah.
England need to go for it. You know, they might try and keep them quiet for the first half an hour or so, but England need to go for it, because ultimately, if they get beat again, they've not won the Ashes, have they? You know, we know what's going to happen. So whether old boy Wayne changes his sort of ways, to the situation he finds himself within that game, we're very interesting. But we can't just be going sort of one out, when you need to chase the game and you need to get a result to take it to the third test. So whether we try and force some, later in the game, if we're still within the chance of winning it, and the Aussies pick us off, it'll be interesting to see how it sort of pans out, because, we need to go for it. We need to be expansive. And one of the biggest things for me on Saturday is we didn't get to the edges quick enough. And when we did get to the edges, it looked very panicked.
I called that. I knew as soon as it went out to the 3/4, we'd be knackered.
Yeah.
We got it out to the 3/4 a couple of times. And I think there was one way in the first half where I think they went out wide. Johnston gave it back inside to Wardle. and Wardle just couldn't find Mikey Lewis, and I think it was Reece Walsh that sort of got the ball down.
That's what I was on about before. It's just that time was just a little bit off with the pass.
I just sort of think if we've got any chance of sort of getting back into this Ashes series, we just need to get the ball out wide, but we need to be clinical. We need to go through the hands of the likes of Farnworth, who can cause a bit of mayhem within their defensive line, and get the ball out to Dom Young and the players that are experienced in the sort of big games in the NRL. They know what it takes, and it has to be execution, and it has to be accurate, and it has to be meaningful when they're putting a kick up or they're trying a set play. It just can't be sort of half-hearted like it was a little bit on Saturday, because, like we've just said, it's sort of knockout football now, Gaz, and we need to go for it, don't we?
Yeah, and it's I'm looking forward to going. It's the home of my beloved Blues as well, so it's a little bit of a bonus for me. So I'm looking forward to that, and I would like to hear that siren before they walk out, before Zcars plays, when Everton play. I'd love to hear that siren just to give them a little bit. You know what I mean? Get into the war zone now, son. And I think that's what we need. We need to go into it with a dogfight mentality.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to sort of get across to people listening, is that, we know what we get from Sean Wayne and his sides. It's sort of one-out rugby. It's everything's defensive based, but it can't be like that on Saturday, because we've got to go and win the game now.
I'd rather get picked off. I'd rather get picked off and have passes intercepted or kicks going dead than just trying to be too safe. It's like, just go for it. It's what point now. Nothing to lose. Just go for it.
Just have a crack. And if we get picked off and we get 30, 40 points past us, at least we've had a goal. We can't die wondering, can we?
That's what I mean. It's like I was saying before. I think they think we're a joke, and it's like, say, it's almost like a training game. It's like, do you think all Australian players, when they left that pitch on Saturday, do you think any of them were probably tired?
No, they could have done another 80.
Yeah, they could have done another 80. It's like you both just said, 100% agree with you. If we lose,
I'll tell you something though, Jordan. They said they think we're a joke. Those last two World Club challenges where they lost.
Yeah.
Second one, you can call it controversial all you want, but they still lost it. Yeah. Oh, we don't take that game seriously. It's like, tell that to the players on the pitch who are on the knees crying.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean? It's just that arrogance. It's like, oh, well, we didn't take it seriously. Yeah. So if New South Wales win the Origin, the Queen's going to, we didn't take it seriously.
No, just it's just like I say, I think, we lose next game and third game, and we lose 3-0. We're probably on favourites for that anyway. But for me, I just wanted it to be a thing where they fly back home, and it's like, Jesus, we've had a game here. We've had three hard weeks here with a couple of injured bodies. Like, it's like, oh right, we've had some hits here, blah blah. But it's like, for them, they're going to fly home. It's going to be like a spa treatment weekend. It's like a relaxing, just training session. Do you know what I mean? It's none of them got out of third gear. They're all jogging. You know what I mean? It's one of those. I just want us to give it to them, really do. And if we lose,
does he start drinking some bog water?
Yeah, we need to get some bog water. Yeah, we need to shove Wayne down there and get some bog water.
Or alternatively, which is the same thing, Foster's.
Oh God!
What we need, we need Wayne, George Williams, Harry Smith, Bateman. We need them all down to the pub. We need them all having a chat and going, right, boys, this is what we're going to do, and we're going to win this next game. And then I'll go back to camp and go, right, boys, we've had a chat. I'm going to just tell you what me and Wigan lads are saying.
That's pretty much half the team, isn't it, Bo?
Pretty much, yeah.
Ultimately, fellas, we all want the same thing, and that's just to have a crack. Don't leave anything on that field. Throw the ball around if we need to. And if we get beat 40 points to 0 or whatever, we'll give us a rat's ass. But we just don't want to be sort of thinking, I wish I'd done this and I wish I'd done that. I heard somebody at work actually today discussing Saturday's game, and I heard him say, and I had to chuckle because I wasn't sure what his knowledge was like in terms of rugby league, whether he was just sort of an armchair supporter or sort of knew a bit of what, and he actually says, "Oh, I won't worry about England so much because it's first game and we'll only be better next week." And then I didn't say anything, but I thought, yeah, but so will the
got thoughts
Aussies.
on that. Are they going to go into that game thinking, "Oh, it's going to be easy"? This after last week, this is going to be a walk in the park. Are they going to get complacent?
I hope so.
I mean, it's not the Aussie thing to do, get complacent, but I think there's been occasions where we've won the first test and then they've turned the volume up.
It's one of those though. It's almost like they've got a lifeline. It's they're 1-0 up. They can afford to
we're sudden death now.
Yeah. They can afford to drop off a little bit, but still win the game. I still think they'll win the game, whether we give it to them or we don't. And they probably might. Who knows? They might even play a completely different team. Might rest a couple of players. Who knows?
Yeah.
They've got that option, haven't they? Where we haven't. I suppose we've still got to play his best team. Where they might, they could take Cleary out and put someone else in, and like you say, still do a job. So
I don't think we played our best team on Saturday, to be honest.
No, I don't either. I'm not a fan of Havard.
For sure.
Yeah, I would have had Meekin starting there, to be honest.
Yeah. I thought we were quite weak in props there, to be honest, especially at starting line.
Yeah, but they're all the squad, though, more or less.
Yeah. I'm just about to say, fellas, because it's sort of, we touched on a second ago in terms of it's like a Challenge Cup game now. It's knockout rugby for England. I mean, for me, you can't be going with 3 props on the bench. It's not gonna get us throwing the ball around, is it?
No, it's not.
No, we need some pace coming off the bench.
We need some utility, some pace value, and some basically, some shock from the bench in terms of trying to get the ball out wide and throw it about early and at pace. So I just don't think you can go with 3 on the bench in terms of props. I mean, before we wrap up, fellas,
I think I would sacrifice Walmsley for Brimson, or you start Brimson, put Wellesby on the bench, or something like that. We need some pace in there as well.
You know what I think it is? Just before we move on or end it, whichever it is. I think what it was in that game, I think they were all so tight in the defence that it made us look slow because we had no gaps, we had no space to move. So every time we had a ball, we didn't make no gaps at all because there was no space on pitch. Like, I don't know if that was just Australia's great defence.
Yeah, they were very organised.
Yeah, I think that's probably what it was. It just made us look really slow and sluggish.
Well, all remains to be seen on Saturday at Bramley Moor. So, I think we'll wrap that up there. I think we've covered all bases now. So, big thanks to everyone who supports. Keep liking and commenting and sharing, following, all that carry on. Massive thank you to Acorn Joinery Leeds for sponsoring. And remember, the podcast is for the fans, by the fans.